Hi. In this lab, Lab 5, Part 2, Exploring Momentum and Impulse, you're going to look at two people that are pushing off each other on skateboards. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at conservation of momentum in this system. So remember that momentum is the mass times the velocity. So to start with, think about this. They're standing still. Neither one of them have velocity. Of course, in this total system, they all have mass, but there's no velocity. So mass times velocity would be 0 for both of these individuals before they push off of each other. So the total momentum should stay 0 before the collision. When they push off of each other, one person is going to go to the left and the other person is going to go to the right. And depending on their masses, the bigger mass will have a smaller velocity and the smaller mass will have a bigger velocity. What you're going to do in this lab is you're going to actually measure the velocity of each person. And remember that one's going to be moving to the right, so it'll have a positive velocity. And one's going to be moving to the left, so it'll have a negative velocity. Once you measure those velocities, you're going to multiply those velocities by their masses. And you're going to calculate their momenta. The value of the mass times the velocity, the number value, should be the same. But one should be negative because it's moving to the left, and the other should be positive. So that when you add them together, the total momentum stays 0. In order to find the impulse delivered, which is the change in momentum, you would want to consider what, for example, for the initial person, let's say you wanted to find it on this guy, you would take his initial velocity and his final velocity and his mass and find the change in momentum to find the impulse delivered. So impulse equals change in momentum, and change in momentum is the final momentum, his final velocity times his mass, minus his initial momentum, which was 0. This girl is going to have an equal and opposite change in momentum to the boy because momentum is conserved in this. You can also use that to figure out the mass of an unknown person. So you'll have another scenario where you'll have two people and you will not know the mass of the other object, but you will know one of the masses. So this is, I would like you to show all your calculations. If it says to measure the velocity and all that, I would like you to show your calculations in the text box in addition to giving the values, please. So please show your calculations. And then make sure you show your units. Velocity should be meters per second. Mass should be in kilograms. Momentum should be kilograms meters per second. And that's basically this lab.